Let's take a look at potholes. Crikey. Those things. Many of us are all too familiar with them here in Herefordshire and Worcestershire. In fact, look out. Too late. Driving into a pothole. Just last month, Herefordshire Council announced that £12 million would be going on resurfacing, aimed at stopping potholes from coming back. But new figures show that neither Herefordshire Council nor Worcestershire County Council are paying out claims as much as you'd hope. In fact, in both counties, fewer than 1 in 10 claims of compensation are reimbursed. That's terrible, isn't it? And the story isn't actually that much different nationally, to be fair. Thousands of drivers across the UK have submitted claims to their local councils in the last 5 years, but only a fraction of people actually got paid out. Here's BBC Hereford and Worcester's Millie Trenham with the details.
If you've ever driven a car, you'll probably recognise this sound. You've just hit a pothole. Immediately, your brain begins asking important questions. Was that the tyre? The suspension? Or has the engine simply fallen out onto the A road behind you? Naturally, you turn the radio down, because that helps mechanics somehow. Now, every sound feels suspicious. What was that? Ugh, not again. The BBC have sent Freedom of Information requests to all the councils across Britain about how many claims were submitted over the last 5 years and the number of those that were successful. Our BBC investigation has revealed 3 in 4 claims for pothole compensation are being turned down. Only 147 of 207 councils told us the number of pothole claims received in the last 5 years and the ones that were successful. On average, these councils paid out 24% of pothole claims. There were some big rural authorities in the Midlands, such as Staffordshire and Warwickshire, who didn't respond. According to the information gathered, both Worcestershire County Council and Herefordshire Council paid out 9% of the claims made on damages caused by potholes in the counties, although Herefordshire failed to provide data for one of the years.
Our reporter Millie Trenham there. A BBC investigation found on average only 24% of claims have been paid out across Britain, costing local authorities around £13.5 million. Earlier this morning, I spoke to Ryan Jordan, who hit a pothole while driving in Hereford at night. It cost him £300 in damage.
Driving at night in town as well, so you'd expect the roads to be a little bit better. Went into quite a deep and quite a sharp pothole. Back wheel went into it, and it essentially broke the suspension on one side, which needed pretty immediate repair.
You didn't make a claim. Why? Tell me your thinking process there with this.
So I was loosely aware of what was needed if you're going to put a claim in, and I, in the dark, attempted to dodge traffic and take pictures of the pothole and videos of the pothole, as you're expected to essentially do, and then. Obviously MOT'd you in 2 days, and I know you've got to make comparison quotes and things like that, and obviously my car would have to be off the road then if it's damaged, MOT'd you, and I'm not getting the work done immediately. And then I saw the stats come out to do with these the sort of likelihood of a claim, and I just ended up deciding it's just not worth A, the hassle, and B, not having a car to get to work.
Wow, so as you heard there, Ryan didn't even bother to try and claim. So just how easy or difficult is it? Well, Scott Dixon is a consumer and motoring disputes expert who hosts the Facebook page The Complaints Resolver. Hello there.
Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning to you. Thank you for coming on. Is it easy for someone to claim if they hit a pothole?
It's not, Tammy, and that's the problem. And not reporting it and not following through with a claim is a problem in itself. And Ryan can retrospectively reopen that claim for up to 6 years. So I would urge him to do that, and to follow the process through, because there's no reason why he should be left out of pocket for the council's negligence.
I think, and that's really interesting to know, because I didn't know you could do that retrospectively, but I think you have to gather a lot of evidence, don't you, at the time, in terms of photographs and measurements and times and details on how old your tyres were and receipts to prove it and all of that.
Yeah, and the first thing I would suggest to Ryan and anybody else listening is to go on to fixmystreet.com to see how many times that pothole has been reported. Because if the council has been told about the pothole before you hit it, they're on notice that it needs repairing. And you're right. Yeah, the first thing you need to do is report it. So if you hit a pothole and you believe it's damaged your vehicle, report it as soon as possible. And you can usually do that via Fix My Street or fillthathole.org.uk. And, you can contact the local authority direct by phone if necessary. Take photos if possible to evidence your claim. And if it's safe to do so, maybe put a bottle of water in for scale. And it's the depth that counts, Tammy, not the width. And that's the crucial part when it comes to lodging a pothole claim. And you'll be asked to provide a sketch with your claim to pinpoint the pothole, because there's that many on the roads. Get an estimate for the cost of repairs or provide a copy receipt because you're seeking a full refund for the damage caused. And submit a freedom of information request, because you cannot rely on the councils or the claims handlers to tell you the truth. And I know they rely on default scripts to reject most pothole claims. So when you submit a freedom of information request, you're asking for the inspection records for the past 12 months, all reports received relating to any road defects within the past 12 months, temporary and permanent repair specification and criteria, and copies of the works orders to identify how the pothole was repaired. And you've just got to be your own detective, and it is a process of elimination, but it can be done.
I think this is a really important conversation to have, because I imagine there are some people who don't even realise that there is recourse for hitting a pothole, that you can actually get some money back. People maybe just go to the garage themselves and put it behind them. So you can claim.
You can, and the average cost of repairs, according to the RAC, is £580. And, in a cost of living crisis, every penny counts. And why should anybody be left out of pocket due to the council's negligence? And you can, as I say, you can retrospectively reopen claims for up to 6 years. So if Ryan's listening, or if you've got his contact details, tell him to do that.
Yeah, totally.
And to revisit it and try and get that money back.
I think his concern was because our councils pay out so little. I mean, a BBC investigation found on average 24% of claims have been paid out. So it's not an awful lot. He just thought it wasn't worth all the hassle and all the hard work. Are you surprised to hear how little our councils pay out?
It's not a surprise at all, Tammy. And the reason why knowing how to claim for a pothole damage is increasingly difficult is because councils have moved to what's called a revised risk-based approach on inspections. So the definition of a pothole depends on who's looking at it. So one inspector can say that it is the pothole that needs an instruct a repair, whereas another can say it's not.
Okay.
And councils used to have policies which specified exactly that if a pothole was X millimetres deep, it would be fixed. Now staff have to consider a variety of factors without any specific mention of depth dimensions.
Okay, all right.
And they've watered it down and they've made it more difficult for a reason. But I would urge anybody that's hit a pothole and sustained damage to their vehicle to lodge a claim and follow the process through.
Okay. All right, Scott, thank you so much indeed for your expertise. Brilliant. Scott Dixon, a consumer and motoring disputes expert, hosts the Facebook page The Complaints Resolver. Worcestershire County Council have provided us with a statement. The council has a duty to maintain roads that are open to public traffic. That duty does not mean the council is automatically liable for every instance of damage, and not every claim automatically results in compensation being paid. It also says most claims are unsuccessful because the council can demonstrate a statutory defence, and that we ask people report the pothole on the highway hazard as soon as possible so we can inspect the defect and arrange repairs if appropriate. Meanwhile, Herefordshire Council said a pothole causing damage does not automatically mean the council is legally liable. Each case is assessed individually against inspection records, maintenance history, and whether the council has taken responsible steps to inspect and maintain the road under the Highways Act 1980, a process followed by councils across the country. It does go on to say, alongside reactive pothole repairs, the council is investing in longer-term improvements to strengthen the network and reduce further damage. Crikey! There you are. That is the latest. You got a problem with a pothole? Let us know.